prayer that I'm about to sing you next. I will donate $180 to, he gave 3 choices of his favorite charities, and you choose one of the 3. See how far you can go with that. So take me to the limit. All of you do it. So he challenged me, and I have 2 more services tonight, this one and then one more. I'm going to sing it now and then again later and see if he'll give me 2 donations for 2 of those charities. So.
Oh, but you got to mention why you're choosing Leonard Cohen.
And then I'm going to try to mash it up with something else. And you'll figure out why. Olam chesedi baneh, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Olam chesedi baneh, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I will build this world with love. And you must build this world with love. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world with love. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Yadada, 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 yadada. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. We light the lights of Shabbat. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat shalom. May you have a peaceful day. Shabbat shalom. May you have a restful day. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. We light the lights of Shabbat. We welcome to the Bima Jennifer Cohen in honor of her 60th birthday with Jessie Valencia and Jessie Cohen, her daughter and daughter-in-law. Lots of Jessicas on the bima.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue on page 124. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured. A beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. 138, Lachadodi.
Shabbat nikabla, nikabla.
We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish 144.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, uv'izman kariv, v'yimeru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach, le'alam ulal me'amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekodesha b'richu, leila min kol birchata, v'shirata, tushbechata, v'nechemata, damiran me'alma, v'yimeru, amen.
$147. O God, you are as near to us as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. As we turn the page. 149. Let's read this together. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change. Within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over?
Baruch atah Adonai, Hamari Varavim.
Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiness of your works and the living language that gives it form.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
We rise. The mark of a Jewish home is the mezuzah. You ask people, what's inside the mezuzah? Some know. Others say, I didn't know there was something inside the mezuzah. A little bit of Torah, but not just any piece of Torah. It's the Shema, it's the Ve'ahavta, it's the words that we just said. And it is these words specifically because they're the ones that command us to affix these very words upon the doorpost of our home. But they go a little bit further. They command us to be in love. Kind of a strange commandment, right? Be in love. But what happens when you're in love? Well, I had 3 sisters. I know what they did. They talked and they talked and they talked about the one that they were in love with. But this is about being in love with God. So we talk and we talk and we talk about God because this prayer is about the love of God. So in the morning, in the evening, when you get up, when you lie us down, there are words of Torah, words of love of God. In this way, we learn not only to love God, we learn how to love and be loving in life. Well, these words go not just to one another, but they go specifically to our children. And one of the first loving mitzvahs that we can do is change the name of our child from Ishkabibble to something a little bit more substantial. And this is that moment where we have Ishkabibble, now is Sarah Elizabeth Shore. And she will officially have her name. And Sarah is named after her paternal great-grandmother, Sarah Shore. Her dad, Josh, was very close to his grandmother because she was a caring, supportive, honorable, intelligent person, and she was always there for her family. Danielle and Joshua wanted to honor her grandmother, and so very, very important. Her English middle name honors her maternal grandmother and great-grandmother. Danielle and Josh hope Sarah lives a happy life while making a positive impact on others in the community, to treat others with kindness and respect, and to bring honor to her faith. And so we bestow upon her this Hebrew name of Sarah, bat Yehoshua. And we call up the following family members: Mom and Dad, Danielle and Josh, parents, Joshua's father and his dad's wife, Lena and Michael Shore, Joshua's grandfather and her wife, Carla and Richard Shore, great-grandparents, Joshua's aunt, Dory Shore, great-aunt, and his brother, Seth Shore, uncle. Would the family members please come forward? And would Sarah please crawl forward? She's not into crawling. Okay, we'll carry her. She's the guest of honor. As she comes up to the bima, we ask that you all rise. So we all rise in your daughter's presence. We rise to greet her and to relish her new name, to remember who she is named for and named after, and the qualities in their lives that you hope that she will share. It is a moment in life that you as parents will never forget, and for her, well, not the first time she'll sleep through a rabbi's sermon. But as sleepy as she is, she's still a participant, and she receives our love. And it is up to you now to tell her of this moment as she grows. With each step of the way as she grows in life, you will tell her not only about this ceremony, but about who she is named for. And in doing so, you will help bring about building blocks of her life that form character and a sense of family tradition and history. But it's also a Hebrew name, a Jewish name. So part of that journey will always be a reminder of her Jewish roots and the people in her life who are Jewish that celebrate this grand religion. And with each recounting, with each utterance of her name, you reestablish the fact that just like the original Sarah of old, first woman who became a Jew, she is as if she is that person. For Judaism's future rests upon each child affirming and practicing our faith. And so, as parents and extended family, we ask God's grace upon her, and let her name be known in the household of Israel as Sarah bat Yehoshua. May her name be revered. May you as parents gain wisdom and understanding in rearing your daughter, and bring her to that wonderful day of Huppah beneath the wedding canopy, when once again we sing her name in praise. As you bow your heads, we ask God's grace upon you with these words.
Bruchot haba tachat kanfei hashechina. Bruchim habayim tachat kanfei hashechina. May you be blessed beneath the wings of Shekhinah. Be blessed with love, be blessed with peace. May you be blessed beneath the wings of Shekhinah. Be blessed with love, be blessed with peace.
Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov. Yehelanu, 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 ulecha Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ulecha Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ulecha Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ulecha
Please be seated. (158), we continue with Amicha Mocha.
Understanding among us, let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, L'shalom. Ve'ha'amidenu, Shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu, Sukkot shlomecha. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, L'shalom. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, L'shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Please rise on page 164 for the Amidah.
Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended upon you.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agitei latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, הגיבור והנורא, אל העליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל, אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We continue in silent devotion through page 180. When you've completed your prayers, please be seated.
Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu mechadon, lecha hashalom. Ki ata hu mechadon,
It's a time in our service in which we say Misha Berach, a prayer of hope and healing. So if there are those of you who would like to say the name of a loved one, please stand and say their names. As we think of all those and others who are part of our circle of family and friends, we rise in solidarity, one to the other, as we hold each other close and derive strength from our prayers and from our friendship. Misha Berach. It is the month of November, and it is Shabbat, in which we celebrate the anniversaries. So I don't know, do we have any November wedding anniversaries? Come on down. Any more? Roberta and Mike, is it yours? You're gonna confess to that? Okay. Oh. Well, good. This is nice. Well, all of you come over here before we open the ark. You know I have to ask a few questions first. So this mic's working also. Oh, that's good. So I'm looking at this group here, and I want to know who's married the longest. So, all right, how long you been married, Heather?
2 years.
2 years. And you've been married how long?
The same.
The same. That's just checking. Okay, that's good. And yeah, Chef Cecilia. Okay, at the same time.
A very long time.
Very long time, which is?
Do you know? 17 years.
You guys have been married 17 years? I know I was there. I would have told you it was last year. Oh my God, 17 years. That's right. So did I. Okay. Okay, Mike and Roberta. So we have 2 years, 17 years. Can you guys beat that?
Long time.
Long time. 42 years.
41 years. But some years were so good they count twice. All right. 41 or 42? 41. So Mike's been married 41, but Roberta's been married 42. That's very unusual. Okay. And how about you guys?
9.
9. Thank God, a couple that agrees. We're upsetting the baby here. They sense these things. Whereabouts were you guys married?
Where?
Oh, Las Vegas.
Las Vegas? You went for a Las Vegas wedding, or you happen to live here? You happen to live here. Okay. And you got married in Las Vegas? And you got married in Las Vegas. Okay, tell me something different. Where'd you get married? Henderson, thank God. Henderson, right where I'm standing. Thank God. I thought everyone wanted to go for a Vegas wedding. Is there anything unusual that happened the day you got married that you can share? The rabbi forgot it wasn't me. Thank God. The rabbi forgot the chuppah. But he had. Okay. The rabbi forgot the chuppah. Luckily, the groom didn't forget the bride, but well, okay. So that worked. Anything unusual?
The rabbi at the time, at another synagogue, forgot that it was a double ring ceremony and only decided that I needed to wear a ring.
Okay. That's not so bad. And it's still kosher, so don't worry.
Hawaiian luau reception.
A Hawaiian luau reception. That's very good, but it was a Japanese theme. Okay. And what about you guys? Anything?
I showed up.
On time?
No.
Okay. Anything unusual, Cecilia?
I remember you kept rearranging the furniture in the room.
I kept rearranging, yeah. That's probably how I hurt my back the first time. Okay. Okay, you're welcome, yes. Anything unusual you guys remember? Any funny story?
I don't remember much of it.
Are you sure you were there?
There were pictures, but yeah.
People thought our theme was funny. We were Electric Daisy Carnival themed.
Electric,
Yeah, we were a rave wedding.
In this room.
In this room, yeah.
a rave, that you got rave reviews, or it was a rave?
It was a rave. There was a lot of color and a lot of neon.
All right,
A lot of lights.
that's pretty good. All right, well, we got a colorful group here, right? I mean, they did the Vegas thing and the Henderson thing, and, well, we got a lot of years. So I think we might as well bless them. They deserve it. So let's everyone stand, and we'll say some nice words here. Come a little closer. Anniversary Shabbat, of course, is one of my favorite traditions here. You guys come a little closer. Right inside there. He thinks I'm going to marry him again. He's like nervous. And he whispered, but who's going to pay for it the second time? All right. No, but seriously, Anniversary Shabbat is one of my favorite traditions because there aren't enough opportunities in life where we can be with the person that we've declared our love and to say it again. We can take each other for granted. We mumble, oh, I love you. We wake up and we go through our daily lives. But when we stand here, we say, well, if I had to do it all over again, could I, would I, should I? And, well, the fact that you're standing here says to me, yeah, you did. You made not only a wise decision, but you made a decision of love, and the two happen, thank God, to be the same. And so we ask God's blessings upon you on this day, in which we celebrate your love, and we as a community, we testify to the strength of that love and how it inspires us as well. Rabbonu Shalom, Master of the universe, continue to watch over these couples. For many and varied are the days since first they met, the hard times they faced together, but the joyous times they shared together. Let them continue to know years and years of blessing, of good health, of happiness and joy. But if the years ahead present any challenge, remind them that their strength lies in their love and in their faith in each other, in the bond that they have with you, Almighty God. So watch over and keep them, and guard them. May their love be strong, strong into the future, always. Amen. We bless you with these words.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May Lord God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
May Lord God cause the light of his countenance to shine upon you, be gracious unto you.
Yis Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May the strength of your love be forever an abiding benediction of your lives, something that gives you strength now and always. And let us say, Amen. Mazal tov. Good job, you guys. On this very spot. Oh. Shavuos, if we go dairy. All right, we ask that you be seated as we magically transform this congregation into a place not only of worship, but of listening. Testing. Okay, good Shabbos, everyone. Well, in a few moments, we will embark upon a new experiment in the congregation called Compelling Conversations with Rabbi Axelrod. Each one of these to be moderated by a guest moderator from our congregation or community. And the first victim, the first guest, is Barbara Tayback, a dear friend, a member of the community, and an oral historian. One of the wonderful things that she has produced is this beautiful book, this resource, in your own words, a life-catching guide to telling your story. And I commend it to you. To read a little bit from her bio, a member of Congregation Ner Tamid, Barbara is the project coordinator of the Southern Nevada Jewish Heritage Project. She is the creative force behind Life Catching's mission to inspire you to capture, archive, and share your personal family or business memories. Every day since establishing Life Catching in 2006, Barbara is more and more committed to the power of preserving memories. She has spoken to and educated a variety of organizations that include oral historians, personal historians, war veterans, lifelong learning groups, caregivers to the elderly, families dealing with Alzheimer's, and hospice workers. To her, no story is insignificant. Next week, she will advise our Dorot program, in which we are training a group of our congregants to be friendly visitors to the elderly, and she'll help us in that process of how to draw people out and tell their stories as friends. As the project manager for the Oral History Research Center at UNLV, she leads projects that touch the entire community. Projects range from a community collaboration called Documenting the African American Experience in Las Vegas to neighborhoods and other fascinating local groups. She loves documenting personal family stories as well as guiding larger group projects. She said, "It's an amazing journey to hear the stories. I've listened to the youthful tales of teenagers competing for the Iowa State Fair Queen, to the reminiscence of departing employees of the Frontier Hotel and Casino, to the experiences of the wise of Nevada test site scientists, and to stories of those who once lived in a historic neighborhood. Each story adds texture to life and history. She's a member of the Oral History Association, the Southwest Oral History Association, and the Association of Personal Historians. Let's welcome her officially to our Bima as we begin this project. Barbara. Can I have water?
Well, that was quite the bio. I don't know
I
where you
know.
got all that research.
Now what are we going to do?
Right,
We
well,
should switch places. I should interview you.
No.
My bio is like three sentences. He came, he was here, he did a couple things. Thank you. All right. So let me take off this atara. It's a little artificial, this being our first one. We'll see how it works. So imagine, if you will, that we just happen to be at a cocktail party or a Jewish event, and we're just schmoozing, and you happen to have the honor, the privilege, or the audacity to listen to what we're talking about. It just happens to be a conversation. And hopefully, if you stay long enough, it compels you in some way to think. And whether you agree or you disagree, well, it'll give you, hopefully, food for thought. So we begin.
So we begin tonight with our topic, which is, what is God's relationship to suffering and evil? And when we discussed that was going to be our topic.
What's the topic?
What is God's relationship to suffering and evil?
Oh my goodness.
That's a cocktail party topic.
Who chose that heavy-duty topic? No wonder the room's not filled, but I chose that topic for a reason as a start-off, because as a rabbi, believe it or not, that is probably the question that I'm asked the most. When people are happy and joyous, they don't ever say to me, "Rabbi, why am I so happy? How could it be possible but that I met this person and he's the love of my life?" They never ask for an explanation for that. But when things are sad, someone is sick or someone has died, they always come to me and they say, "Why is God punishing me?" Or "Why am I suffering?" So of all the questions that compel me, or that are compelling in terms of our practice of Judaism, this is the question that I get asked the most. I wish it wasn't, but that is the nature of life. When it's good, it's grand, and when it's not, it's a struggle. And that's why we turn often to religion. So that's why I picked the subject to be first.
Okay. So I thought about it a lot since you picked the topic. And two things struck me personally. One happened today. I had a brief meeting at the Warsaw Ghetto Remembrance Garden at Temple Beth Shalom with a Holocaust survivor. And Holocaust is one of the obvious topics that comes up when you think about suffering and evil. And then another topic for me personally that came up was more personal and less invasive of history, and that was with my grandmother. My grandmother suffered from Parkinson's disease since I was probably about 6 years old, and she had it for at least 15 years. As a small child, I would help take care of her a lot, and I always wondered why she had to suffer so much. And so when I think of bigger context stories, and the small ones, suffering is with us, from big and small. What do you tell a child that's dealing with that? I don't know how I learned to deal with my grandmother's suffering and how she withered away before my eyes.
That's it. That's always the biggie. It's not only why do we suffer, but does our suffering have meaning? I think if we felt deep down that our suffering had some meaning, maybe there would be a reason, an explanation. So perhaps I have to take a step back as a rabbi. The first response is not what you tell someone, it's how you accompany them in their pain. And oftentimes that doesn't mean that you speak at all. It doesn't mean that you explain at all. It usually means that you listen a lot. So it's not just what you tell a child, because for some things there really is no answer that makes sense. And what they need is an affirmation rather than an explanation. The affirmation is that despite suffering and despite what they are seeing, they need the affirmation that life is still good. Because suffering that you watch of a loved one challenges what we take for granted every day. The sun will come up, I'll be able to brush my teeth, I'll have a smile on my face, everything will go good, and then boom, there's a car accident and someone dies, or you go to the doctor and they see something and you're diagnosed with cancer, and all of a sudden your world is turned upside down. But when things are good, we take them for granted. We don't look for an explanation. And so, what do you tell? Well, again, perhaps it's not what you say, it's how you listen, and it's how you are with them and reaffirm that life ultimately is good. And you hold them and you hug them. And with that sense of affirmation and stability, it's not going to take away the pain of that memory, but it will grant them a life that is filled with more optimism than pessimism. It will change the outlook of that individual in life. That life, yet, is still good. You mentioned the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the most optimistic voice in the Holocaust? Anne Frank. She dies at the end, and her words that most famously live on are, despite everything, I still believe that life is good, that the world is good, that people are good. And that's what has to endure. And if that message can't endure, and the message is life is bad and it's filled with suffering and pain that has no meaning, now you're telling that child that life has no meaning. So that can't be the message. It's one of affirmation, of holding, of listening. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is it possible to have a world without evil and suffering?
So it's an interesting question, because suffering isn't necessarily evil, and evil is not necessarily suffering. A lot of people wonder, well, what does Judaism say? What's evil? It's the absence of good, perhaps, but perhaps it's the absence of God, or perhaps it's the absence of doing God's work in this life, of what we know God wants of us. But we believe, in contrast to some other religions, that people are not born bad. We're not born with original sin. We're born kind of neutral. And we have a tendency for the Yetzer Ra and the Yetzer Tov. We can either go towards the good inclination, which is the Yetzer Tov, or we can follow the temptation, which is the Yetzer Ra. But even the Yetzer Ra in Judaism is not evil, because arrogance and greed, temptation, all these things that we might define as evil, even illness or suffering that we might say is evil, can often lead mankind to build great buildings, find cures for dreaded diseases, help each other. Even if it's in their own self-interest, they still are benevolent in helping people. A person may become a doctor. They may think, oh, I'll be a doctor, I'll make this money, but they still have to be motivated ultimately by wanting to help people. And so it is possible to have faith when you know that suffering does exist, but that love itself is stronger than death. And that we collectively as people have an ability to relieve suffering and find cures for all these diseases, but it's not always in our lifetime, but it spurs us on. I've known so many people who a loved one dies, it's in an accident or cancer or whatever, and then it motivates them as a person to do good. And they take that suffering and they turn it. They turn that tragedy and they turn it into something good. And when they can do that, what could have been evil is now a motivation to good and an affirmation of faith. That's ultimately what we need to do.
What if I'm the person who caused the suffering?
If you're the person who causes the suffering, then you got to make yourself right with yourself, right? So when you say that, that's a very generalized statement. You know, is it accidental? Is it because of words? Is it, you know, you gave someone, you were driving a car and you wrecked the car and the person, you know, now is in trouble for life. You're going to have that sense of guilt and responsibility. So if it's accidental, you need to figure out a way to forgive yourself. If it was on purpose, like you purposely caused someone suffering, then you have to deal with your demons. And ultimately, you have to ask that person to forgive you, but only after you found a way to change. And that's the component, and that's the difference between the two.
How does one find a way to change, I wonder? I think about politics today. I hate to bring up politics, but, you know, there's been a lot of hurt that's been done in the last year. How do we all come together to overcome that?
Well, you know, we talk about politics, we talk about people's feelings. Since the elections, you know, a lot of people have come to me and they say the world is ending and they don't know what to deal with it and what will the world look like. And I can imagine if the election went the other way, there would have been people who voted the other way who might have said the same thing. And so the first step is to recognize that there's been many times in our country where elections have been controversial and acrimonious, and yet ultimately we are Americans first and we come together. And so we may not forgive things that were said, we may remember things that were said, but the first step is to try to understand that in order to be successful as a society, well, you have to work not only with people you like, but people with whom you disagree and perhaps don't even like. The fact that Obama and Trump could shake hands after all that was said a very good message to everybody else. And then we wait and see. And we see if people change, if their words now mature into political reality. And if they do, we all benefit. And if they don't, in our great democracy, we have a voice. And as we use our voices positively, we hope that we can affect change. And when we do that, we express a sense of faith in our system, our democracy. And I think that's one of the things that makes us great as a country.
Are there any other aspects of this topic that we haven't touched upon that you think we should?
Any other aspects? Well, that's pretty broad. Let me think.
I'm good at broad questions. That's my job.
Well, this is the one that I think is really important to me. When I go to a hospital and someone is very ill, oftentimes their loved one, not the person, by the way, who is in the hospital, but their loved one will say, why did God do this to me? To me. Not, why did God do this to my loved one, but I'm in so much pain, I'm watching my loved one suffer, or I do a service, someone had, their loved one died, their spouse died, why did God do this to me? So the pain in losing someone or watching someone suffer translates to them that they are being punished by God. So the first thing I always like to try to tell people, you can't always tell them that when they're hurting and in pain, then it's time for listening and venting. But ultimately, people have to know that suffering in Judaism is not a punishment by God. That is such an important concept, I can't tell you. Because if you believe that suffering and illness is a punishment by God, then you will take illnesses like cancer or AIDS or polio or whatever it is, and you will look at the people who suffer with those illnesses, and you will say they have those illnesses because God is mad at them and that they are bad and evil people. So you compound an illness with social isolation and social condemnation. That's a terrible thing to do. But beyond that, even if it's not broadly political, if it's just you feeling like you're being punished by God, what you do is you withdraw yourself from God's love and you create a wall between you and God at precisely the time when you need God for strength. And so when a loved one dies or we're looking at someone suffering, or it could be us, and we are angry, I get it, and we're upset, I get it. But when we say, God, why are you punishing me? I don't get it. I don't get it, because that wall is drawn, and at the time we need God's help, God can't get through that impenetrable wall. And so I urge people, as hard as it is when we suffer and we face pain, to embrace our faith with a sense of hopefulness so that we can draw upon God's love and draw strength in our time of need. And that, to me, is the most important message of this whole entire subject. So thank you very much for letting me just have an open conversation. And I hope all the people in this room who secretly were listening gained a little bit insight. One of the things I forgot is I was going to explain why I decided to launch this program in the first place. Most of the time, the format, of course, is a sermon. That's what we've done since, believe it or not, only the 1800s. Rabbis only had one sermon a year up until the 1800s. It was on Passover. Up until then, rabbis didn't do sermons. You may wish for those old days. But I said to myself, you know what? Over all these years, there are some people I've had wonderful conversations with, but there are so many other people I don't. They catch me at the Oneg Shabbat, and we make small talk, and they want to tell me something, but they don't want to bother me, or there's something on their mind. They wonder what the rabbi thinks, but, well, so I thought, you know what? Perhaps a way would be not to be linear like a sermon, but to be conversational, so that as a conversation weaves in many different directions, so too might you listen and form your own opinions. And I hope in the Oneg Shabbat that you won't just approach me, which I hope you will, but you will approach each other and say, you know what? This is what I want to talk about with you, what my views are, how I agree or disagree with the rabbi. And hopefully we'll get everybody here talking in a very compelling way. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. It was very compelling.
So the next one we're going to try will be in December. And that is going to be on Chrismukkah. And the interviewer will be Roberta Sabbath. And Chrismukkah has to do with the fact that originally we were unifaith, one faith. Then we went to interfaith, and now we are multi-faith, often in families. And how has that impacted us as we try to survive as Jews and practice Judaism and make sense with all these blended families? So I hope you'll come, support it. Shabbat shalom. So now I'd like to invite my choir, which is the Adult B'nai Mitzvah. Come on, guys, as many as you are, because the cantor had yet another program, and it's over in Summerlin. We have Shabbat After Dark. So if you have a strong singing voice, you are helping us right now with our concluding prayers. So come on up, and we're going to turn to the adoration. For the congregation, please rise. What pages are we on? 586.
Shafeach lakon hakol,
Mishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamachim hakadosh baruch. Please be seated. Yes, go ahead and be seated. We turn to the Kaddish, which is found on page 598. We think of those who have died in recent days. David Ostrov, Thelma Marcos, Marcia Smith, Marilyn Lvcnt, Avi Feldman, and Leonard Cohen. We recall the Yortzites of Patrick Bopp, Lorelei Craycraft, Sharon Eaton, Jordan Ehrlich, Sophia Eisner, Meyer Fagan, Avi Feldman, Esther Fried, Ida Friedman, Jerry Giddle, Ian Goldstein, Fred Jonas, Sally Kaufman, Bert Collins, Milton Kranitz, Marks Levins, Jacob Love, Rose Lewis, Benjamin Mattis, Leo Meckler, Flo Premack, Morris Ratner, Estelle Roman, Dorothy Rugau, Rebecca Rosenberg, Faye Rosen, Francis Ross, Mildred Schiffman, Julie Ann Sklar, Philip Williams Sklar, Herman Schell, Rachel Smith, Paula Weinberg, Mark Weissman, and Saul Zimmerman. If you would like to recall the name of a loved one who was not mentioned, please stand and say their name. We turn to our Kaddish as we please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedachol be'Yisrael b'agalav v'zman kari v'yimru amen Yeheshmei rabba mevorach le'olam olmei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekusha b'richu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata Tush bechata v'nechemata, Damiram bi'alma v'yamru, Amen. Yehi shlomo rabba min shamai v'chaim, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru, Amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. You may be seated. Well, we invite those who have anniversaries this month to come back up, those in the religious school to come on back up, and anyone with a birthday in the month of November to come on up. B'nai Mitzvah students, adults, come on, we're going to do Kiddush and Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Thank you, everybody. Good job. So remain up here. What's our final song? Ricky, what's our final song?
Osei
Osei
Shalom.
You are all my chorus. We're going to all stay up here together. We're going to join in Osei Shalom. Here we
All
go.
together, everybody's got to
Everybody.
sing and stand. B'nai Mitzvah class.
Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom. That's all right. We did it. Right?
What did you think for first hour?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Thought it was good? I mean, it was a little awkward. I mean,
Okay. Okay. So we've had other
What'd you think of the thing? It was a little